Welcome, stargazers. This is the December horoscope a little bit early. It is November 13th. We're not even to the full moon yet. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the December horoscope. So the high points this month that I want you guys to be aware of. The first thing is we've got Venus, Mars, Neptune, and Pluto, all in terms of Saturn. And remember, Saturn is consequences. It's karma. But it's consequences. These are the things that you have earned. Okay. Now, one of the notable passages in this month is the Mars passage. So Mars is in Leo. It's in the early degrees of Leo. It will station retrograde. It will station retrograde on the 7th. Now, Mercury goes direct, but that's not until a week or so afterwards. This Mars activity is what I want you guys to watch. So Mars will station retrograde on the 7th at 6 Leo. When it does that, it will be in the antecedent of Uranus in Taurus. So we can expect to see some huge destabilization happening at this time. Mars in Leo tends to, especially in male charts, tend to be a very aggressive, domineering placement because Leo is the royalty. They are the great we, right? So they like to be on top. They're competitors, right? They have a tremendous amount of importance or self-importance. With Mars and Leo, what you tend to get is a whole lot of chest beating, right? A lot of like manly man sort of, screaming and stuff like that. So what I would expect is as we move through, or not move through, as we start the month of December, this should probably be a continuation of what we were seeing at the end of November, which is a whole lot of toxic masculine chest beating, literally guys who need to go to war because they're not really good for much else except aggression. Now, when it goes retrograde, in the antecedent of Uranus, it will also be happening while the quarter moon is at 17 Gemini, squaring Jupiter, which is blow things up even bigger. So egos, domineering behavior, like the fantasy land we all live in, right? Convictions, the courage of convictions, good, bad, or indifferent, right? All of these things should get blown up and expanded under this quarter moon, which is also happening on the 8th. On the 8th. Now, with Mars in the term and the face of Saturn, there's going to be a lot of, I hate to say it, but there's going to be a lot of military or militaristic demands or energy being put forward. So there are people who are gunning for war. There are people, as if they weren't before this, but this is really going to bring that to a fine point around this time. That does not mean we will go to war, although it is more of a strong possibility right now, these discussions, than ever before, and not necessarily for the right reasons. And again, this is in the antecedent of Uranus, so expect and Uranus is retrograde at 24 Taurus near the fixed star Algol. So expect things to get really wonky or reach an unexpected impasse with a sudden stop, like car screeching to halt kind of thing, in a hurry and abruptly out of nowhere around this Mars station. And I say that because Uranus will be in the term of Jupiter in the phase of the moon, but specifically the term Jupiter. And what that will do is it will give us an out. It will give us an out. So we have the opportunity to literally slam on the brakes on this vehicle before we end up in a catastrophic accident or culmination of things that result in disaster. So keep the faith that Uranus in terms of Jupiter, while Mars is in the antecedent and making its station on the 7th with that quarter moon in Pisces squaring Jupiter, which is where Uranus is in the term of, blah, blah, data. Should give us an opportunity to, again, put the brakes on, like in a hurry and fast, without a lot of warning. So let's see what happens when it comes to emergency management, right? And, the fickle finger of fate, sticking its finger in the pot of events and giving us a chance to reconsider what we're about to, sign on for. So there is hope. There is hope. So watch for it. Now, at the same time, on the 8th, we've got Venus conjuncting Pluto, right, in Aquarius. Now, Venus will also be in the term of Saturn. Pluto will also be in the term of Saturn. And again, this is all about what you've earned, what you have earned. And you don't earn things by passively pushing buttons. You earn things by paying attention and making it a point to approach things with serious consideration, right? And giving all of those things the due respect that they deserve, right? In terms of how we view them, and take them seriously. So with Venus conjuncting Pluto, remember, Pluto in Aquarius is the sign of the people. Power to the people, comrade, power to the people. Pluto in Aquarius is absolutely the sign of the common man. And unfortunately for you MAGA folks out there, Jesus Christ, there's nothing homogenous about Aquarius. Aquarius is about the teeming masses and all its brilliant and colorful and bizarre displays, eccentrically and otherwise, right? So every race, creed, color, tribe, nationality, religious belief, personal presentation, personal gender preference, whatever those things are, and its dazzling array of holy cow, right? That's Aquarius. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius out of Capricorn, we're moving into the power of the people. We've been seeing it build this last 6 months, and now we're officially here, both feet in. Okay, so with Pluto and Capricorn, we knew when it initially entered Capricorn, it's going to be the rise of big business, the rise of the hierarchy, the rise of the mega power, right? Consolidated power, top down sort of thing. And that's exactly what we saw. This is how we ended up, since Pluto's gone to Capricorn, this is how we ended up with a single elite few billionaires and some rising up to really honestly try to be trillionaires at everybody else's expense, but they don't care about that because it's about power and the consolidation of power. And like a pyramid, the consolidation of power goes, it's shaped like this. The common people are down here. Up here at the very, very top, there's only room for a few. Okay. And they don't care about everybody underneath them because you can be replaced, right? But that was Pluto and Capricorn. We've seen it. We've lived it. Like, all you got to do is look back. You've lived this. This is your lived experience in the last 20 years. Go back and take a look at it, right? Now, Pluto has entered Aquarius, which is the people, the common man, the diverse population, you bunch of homogenous freaks. So people who are absolute believers in racial or national homogeneity, right? Homogeneousness, where it's literally the same everywhere. Like Russia is the same everywhere. One religion, one race, one gender preference, and everybody else gets killed, right? I think there's like a sprinkling, like candy sprinkles across the country of Jews, right? Russian Jews, but other than that, it's all Russian Orthodox Christian, whatever that is. So for those Republicans in this last couple of administrations who are all about loving, their reflection in the mirror, everybody should look like me, my children should look like me, we should all look like me in my community, right? They love Russia because in their mind, that's the perfect country, right? It's all white all the time, one religion, one gender preference. Oh, baby, sign me up. And they don't understand that the Russian culture, they don't have any respect for Americans. They don't love you, right? So, but, that's a conversation for a whole other time. I'm just saying, I was there once for a week. I'd like to never repeat that experience again. It was interesting. I learned a lot. So for those people who are all about that, that's going to the wayside, which also could suggest this is the end of the Russian Empire as Putin is trying to rebuild it. Because this whole one identity, one religion, one whatever that Russia's been built on, right? And it's all surface, right? This is not how people live their lives, but this is, everybody kind of goes along with the party line on the surface because they have to, because their history is a communist country. Anyway, this could also just suggest that Pluto entering Aquarius and firmly sitting in Aquarius is absolutely the end of the homogenous Russian Empire as they've known it for so long. So that will be interesting to watch. And certainly could be the same could be said for China and Iran and other places where they're absolutely committed to keeping the outside world outside and keeping things the same, all the time. We'll see. So Venus and Pluto together around this quarter moon indicates some positive opportunities to get things right, okay, or to break the final links on this chain that has enslaved us all. So it will be interesting to watch. So keep the faith. That quarter moon squaring Jupiter, right? Which is um, the term that Uranus is sitting in, which is pulling in that Mars station retrograde by Anticia, yada, 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 data, data, data. This should actually give us something good and hopeful, and a breakthrough. The most important word here is a breakthrough. Okay, now at the same time, the other thing I want to give you guys this month is that Neptune is in the last degrees of Pisces, and we're aware of that. But right now, Neptune is in its degree of exaltation, which means that Neptune is as powerful now as it is ever going to be. And Neptune is all about compassion and love and doing the right thing and the golden rule, right? And kindness and mercy and all of those spiritual values that I'm assuming that the religion you were taught or grown up with should have been instilling in you, because that is supposed to be the purpose of spiritual disciplines. Just saying. So Neptune will be in its degree of exaltation all month long, being a beautiful, beautiful emphasis across all of this. Now, interestingly, Neptune is also in the term of Saturn. So this is very much going to be about what you've earned, right? What you're committed to and what you've earned. Remember, Saturn is the lived experience. So when it comes to your values, right? Jupiter is the idea and the academics of these things. So when we talk about morals and ethics and spiritual principles, Jupiter is the idea of these things, but Saturn is where the rubber hits the road, and it's how you're living your values, right? It's how you're living those experiences. So this month is going to be a reflection for a lot of people and very clear view about what their values actually are, right? Because this is the find out part of the F around and find out equation, right? So for those of you who are on the right side of the tracks, like, this should be a good thing. It should be a good thing. For those of you who are hanging on to this fantasy that the world can go back 1,000 years, well, there may be a little bit of a bumpy ride this month. Okay. The thing to keep in mind also is that this month we've got a heavy emphasis in fixed and mutable signs. And what this means, and very little cardinal, which means we will not be making any brand new big changes this month, but we will instead probably be shifting pieces around and making some adjustments. So I wouldn't necessarily look for any huge outstanding like turns of events or anything like that. No, I don't see it. But what we will see for sure, is some adjustments, and some shifting of pieces and some modifications and adjustments to the trajectory that has already been started. So we're not out of the November mess yet, but we will be as we're continuing to clean up in aisle 5 this month from things that happened in November. Let's see. We have a full moon on the 15th. Mercury will be stationing direct around the time of this full moon. So look for things to really move forward with a force and a fury once we get to that full moon. So there should be a culmination of things at that time. And certainly, because the full moon's at 23 Gemini and that Mercury station is a 6 Sag, certainly an emphasis not just on words and saying what we mean and meaning what we say, right? The principle of the thing, but taking action and moving forward with our principles guiding us. So there will be no playing both sides of the fence come December. You got to take a position. And even if you don't, people are going to expose you with positions you have. Nick Fuentes. Sorry, my voice is cracking. This could potentially be a really, really good month. Expect squawking and noise and all sort of stuff, but mostly expect the power paradigms to shift back to the common man and the people at large. The election in the United States is absolutely a classic example of what's been happening in terms of the division of the elites, or the handful of people who have power and money and influence to move things around to their benefit versus everybody else, the popular vote and all that sort of stuff. And we'll be seeing this very, very clearly in December, right? I mean, clearly, not like it is now we're all kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on and what to do, but it'll be obvious in your face. There's no hiding it at this point. And this also applies to other countries. So watch for changes in power shifts back to the common person in other countries. So that's all I have for December. Mostly because I'm just, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm just disgusted. I am just disgusted. So, and I'm taking some extra time off because I'm not sure that YouTube is for me. Because I'm just not the kind of person that people love out here, and that's okay. That's okay. Because I certainly don't want to be confused with them. Anyway, so I'm going to take December off. I'm wishing you guys the best of the holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate at the end of the year, to bring in the new year. I'm going to go work on my writing. I'm working on writing a book. Finished one. Got to work on finding a publisher for it and doing some last minute edits. And I'm getting ready to start another one, which I think you guys will like. And also, I'm going to start a separate, different channel now for health and wellness, right? For completely unrelated things unrelated to astrology. So there's that. And also, too, just to let you guys know, I'm going to be setting up a video on this channel. I'm going to post it as for new subscribers and old subscribers coming in. If you have a recommendation for astrologers or psychics who have openly, proudly, and with their whole chest indicated that they are not Trump supporters, that they are not MAGA people, right? They have made it clear, undeniably clear. Either saying it out loud or like putting it in their description about something that we can go back and look and verify that that's actually the position they took openly, publicly, and proudly. I'm going to have a video up so you can put your recommendations in there. If you put a recommendation in, you must put in the video or indicate where this information is, where they're absolutely taking a stand and saying, I am not pro-Trump, I am not pro-MAGA, or however they state it. If that information is not there, the recommendation is going to get pulled off the channel because it's time for people to take a stand. So the thing about it is, if you're willing to support people with your attention and your views, especially if they're astrologers and psychics, then you want someone who also is just as invested in your safety and well-being, okay? Not your money, right? And your eyeballs so they can make money. And the fact of the matter is, people deserve to be people who are in alignment with their values, right? So if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I think that's just as important as much as this person actually being able to make accurate predictions and not BS their way through an entire video, which there's more and more of these days on YouTube. But that's just me. So as a public service, in my absence for whenever I get back, we'll have that video up and you guys can put your recommendations in there. I will be watching. So again, make sure you put in the link to the specific video where they say out loud, publicly, proudly, and with their whole chest that they are not pro-Trump or not pro-MAGA, or like a clear description indication where it says that on their profile, but the video is better. I want to see it on a video. We're going to leave it up so other people can find them too. All right, you guys have a fantastic holiday. December is going to be a turnaround month. We're still in the thick of it, right? So we're still gonna be like, doggy paddling the ocean, trying not to drown. But the fact of the matter is that we haven't drowned at this point come December, and we're still doggy paddling like a beast, trying to get out of this ocean of mess. And we're gonna get there, but we've all got to get our heads right, okay? And we've all got to pick a side. All right, talk to you guys later.